So any preference if it's left or right seats come on this?
I can go further on.
Yeah, perfect. We'll go around in our normal order and take any questions afterwards. Adam, if you want to start us off when you're ready.
General commiserations, how hurtful is that for you to support?
Yes, as you can imagine, couldn't be worse. Obviously, we're suffering a lot in this moment, and deeply disappointed because once you come so close after overall a terrific season with 90 points, also really good playoffs overall, again with a half final, great 2 legs against Norwich, and also. Today I would say, can't really say that we are the worst side in this final, and to lose this final hurts a lot, and you are very, very disappointed, but also don't want to miss, first of all, to say congratulations to Southampton. They defended really, really well today, were pretty effective. They had this one chance in the first half, and they were able to be clinical in this moment and to use this with a pretty clinical strike. And yes, we know the only statistic that matters in such a final are the goals. Or the other statistics probably we've won. We had more possession, more shots, more chances, more expected goals. But the only thing that matters are expected goals. And you have to say Southampton, first, they defended really well and they were a bit more clinical than we were, a bit more effective. And that was the reason we lost the game. Again, congratulations to them. All the best in the Premier League. But as you can imagine, it hurts a lot if you're just one step away from being allowed to celebrate, and then you have to travel so disappointed back. Yes, it hurts at the moment.
Is it the case of some players just not turning up and realising the potential on the day, like Crescentia Somerville, for example, and maybe the front forward in general? Did they just not play?
No, so obviously once you have a game where you don't score, then it will always be that. Yes, the offensive player could have been more effective in creating and using the chance. I think we started a lot on the front foot. I think our decision-making in the first half was not top class, especially in the final third, because we created normally so many good situations, but whenever we could play a final pass, we're then not precise, we're then not tidy enough. Also, it felt sometimes a bit not 100% committed to the pass or to the finish. Could have been a bit more brutal, but it's also like when you have a look on how young my side in the offense is, perhaps, and then a player like Armstrong, who is more or less like knows this league and also such situations inside out. He has this one situation, then he is, when it counts in the crunch time, really fully on it. And I say I was a pretty clinical strike. That was a bit the difference, but it's also not the day to criticize my offensive lads too much, because also when you think about the second half, when you have a situation like Joe Rodon, if he passed the ball over to Joel Pirot, he rolls it into an empty goal, or the strike of Daniel James, it hits the underside of the crossbar. Normally, just from the physique, you would expect that this ball goes in. If such a ball bumps not into the goal, but in front of the line, it's not a goal. You got this feeling, okay, it's one of these days, and it's not meant to be today. And yes, obviously, they were more effective in the final third than we were. And they were able, out of this one situation, to score. We were not, and this was definitely one of the reasons, yes.
I know it's raw and it's straight after the game, but do you look around the players on 90 minutes and say, can you see the determination to put this season right, if you like, if we're doing it again next year? Do you feel that already?
Yes, so to be honest, after you lose the final and you just are one day more or less away that everyone goes into the summer break, it would be too early to be there with upbeat messages, because at the moment no one wants to hear it. Everyone suffers and is disappointed, and many tears on the pitch and in the dressing room. You have to allow them also to be down, but there's overall, when you then in a few days have a look on the bigger picture, what I mentioned, 90 points, also the way we played the playoffs, also the way we played the final today, there's no reason to dwell under it. It's more important to take also this disappointment, these experiences, to take it as extra motivation then, in order to make sure that these supporters who were today again, second to none, not just in this league, but even in this country, I would say, have a day when they deserve also to celebrate and to enjoy such a day. And for that, we feel the pain today, and we are deeply disappointed that we're not able to send our supporters home with something to cheer about, and that we are not back in the promised land where we want to be in the Premier League. But one thing is for sure, this let's have no reason to dwell on it, and we'll take this also as extra motivation to come even back stronger. It will be difficult to come back stronger than because we were there with 90 points during the season. It's overall a great achievement, but obviously to be there was a perfect outcome, to be allowed to call yourself again a Premier League side. Obviously, this is definitely something what we want to celebrate one day. Yes,
it's a big summer. So how sure are you that Leeds United will be stronger by the end of it under these own?
Well, it's not the day for me right now to speak about. Like I mentioned, to deliver upbeat messages and to speak too much about what will be the situation will be in the summer. I think after you lose the final, it's important also to be disappointed, allow yourself to be disappointed, and then to speak about, okay, what will happen in the summer. I totally trust this club. I totally trust also this key people, because my experiences since I kind of signed the contract was after obviously a difficult start with all the exit clauses and what we had to suffer till it was more or less September. This club is totally on the right path, but to go into details, what we will do, and that we will even be stronger than right now, I think it's the wrong moment to give this messages straight after the final. There will be the moment to speak about, but not today. Today, like I mentioned before, no reason to dwell under it, but today, of course, we're disappointed. Thank you.
Graham?
Do you feel like Inexperience has maybe hampered you this season? And obviously you've got young, exciting attacking players, but at key moments has it hampered you?
Well, it's difficult to criticize our inexperience when you finish with 90 points, and you could see that also the outcome today could have been in a different way, and also the steps forward players like Chris Somerville, Georgie Rutter, Archie Gray have made, is difficult then to punish them for being not experienced. For that, I'm far away. I know that when it comes down to such a final, and also to grind out pragmatically a result, experience always helps. I mentioned that Armstrong was in a situation like this before, and then he's not nervous if he is there in a finishing situation and not over motivated, over excited. He's just focused and clinical. This is the reason why, whatever a team like Real Madrid is more or less each and every time in the Champions League final. So if it would be easy just with 18, 19, 20-year-old to win the league, to win the finals, more or less each and every club would do this. This is a bit like our DNA. We have a pretty young side. We knew before that in comparison to our competitors in the top end of the championship, we have probably the most youth side, the most unexperienced side, and we knew this. Doesn't take anything away that we still wanted to reach promised land, though. So for that, yes, if you go pretty deep in the analyzing, a bit more experience would have helped. Yes, would have definitely helped to have Patrick Bamford available for such a game like this, but it was not meant to be. And for that, I'm far away from giving the inexperience of Cree, of Georgie, of Archie, or whatever the blame. It's more like, yes, we feel the disappointment. We also will take the positives out of the season, but we also try to work a bit on the things that we can improve. And one thing is definitely a bit more experience, and the players who were involved will be also more experienced next season, and to take this because experience always helps. Yes.
I know you said it's not the time to talk about the future, but for fans, I suppose, who might want to know, do you have to take stock of your position, or are you fully committed to next season at least?
No, I spoke really pretty open about why I signed the contract, why I signed the long-term contract, and also what my mission is here for this club. But after lost final, it's not the moment to speak about myself. So it's more like just to speak about this fantastic club, about our supporters, and also to speak about my players. So they don't want a manager right now who speaks about himself just 20 minutes after we lost the final and gives some messages for his own future and what he will do in the next season here with this club. It's more like to be there for them, to pick them up, to give the experience of a bit older lad who was in positions like this before. Such a position was also not to lose a final year at Wembley, but at least, in comparison to Archie Gray, who never suffered a disappointment, I'm in a situation that I have at least the experience of this in this moment, just about my players and to be there for my players, and not like to speak about what would be for me then in the future. I've spoken about this topic enough, I think, but not today.
Baron?
What were you saying to the players as you console them on the pitch?
First of all, no genius messages because they were too down and everyone wants to suffer a bit alone. But also there were many tears on the pitch and many players really suffering. And in this moment, just a hug helps, and perhaps one or two warm words, and also to especially several of them who were disappointed that they didn't use a chance or were perhaps also involved in the first goal when we opened a bit the center. To give the message that they still can be proud after such a terrific season, the step that they made forwards. So in such a moment, it's not like to analyze, okay, how we could have been a bit tighter in the back line when Armstrong scored. It's more like, yes, to back them and to give them the trust and to tell them also how great they were during the season and that they can be really proud of them. So no genius messages, but just to be there for them. Obviously, once you lose the game, even as a manager, you don't want to see anyone. And if I could choose, I would go in and just be on my own and suffer a little bit individually. But I think in such a moment, as a bit more experienced human being, you have to be there for your players, especially for young players, and pick them already a little bit up.
Has Liam or anybody else in the dressing room said anything after the game?
Liam is always there. I gave my message to the players as well, and especially our more experienced lads. Sadly, we had the situation with Stuart was also today with us, and Patrick Bamford. Sadly, both not available. Liam, all our experienced players are also there with a strong shoulder for our young lads, and they are brilliant. And yes, we can't take this disappointment away, but we will keep going once the new future starts. That's definitely for sure.
Phil?
Given that it's almost June already, how much planning have you and the club done for a summer where it isn't promotion and it is going to be a championship?
Yes, it's always a bit difficult when you don't know in the end of May exactly in which league you are, because there are different scenarios. That's definitely for sure. So it's then always a bit tricky, but obviously in the background we've prepared a lot, but there will be lots of work to do also over the upcoming weeks. That's definitely for sure. So we are prepared also for different scenarios, but before you press a button, you need to know in which league you are. And from now on, at least we have clarity and can go a bit more into details. But I'm pretty sure it will also last a little bit. So I'm not sure if really everything will be fully ready at the beginning of pre-season. But once the new season starts, then definitely everything will be ready.
Stuart?
I mean, particularly with such a young squad, I guess it's important that they learn from today. What are the main lessons do you think that they will have to learn from this experience?
Yes, the main lessons is also sometimes just good also to feel this disappointment, because it means then perhaps extra motivation also in each and every detail to be there. And obviously, yes, could have been a bit more focused in the moments when it counts today, not overexcited, a bit more committed to our attacks, a bit more clinical in the decision making in the final third. But to be honest, this comes just with experience, and this is something the players will learn anyway. So they don't need then my advice. Okay, you have to be there, more precise with the pass, because they know it anyway.
And just in terms of, you've mentioned many times about the profile of the squad in terms of experience. Will you be looking to bring in more experienced players, or would it be more relying on, as you say, these players becoming more experienced?
Yes, like I mentioned before, so today is not 20 minutes or 1 hour after final, not the time to speak about what we'll do. Would we respect less also to the players that we have at the moment? At the moment, it's for me just to be there, also for them to show also leadership, to have an arm around their shoulder and to build them up, and not like to speak about what we need then also for the next season. Obviously, in my mind, I have also prepared a bit already what is necessary. to add perhaps to this squad. I'm fully aware of this, but right now it's not the moment to speak with this because it would mean I would criticize something that we didn't have, and these players don't deserve it. Not in this moment. We'll work on all these topics over the upcoming weeks.
Harish?
Hi, Daniel. This pain and disappointment you played suffering, is that the fuel and motivation to go again next year?
Yes, it has to be, definitely. So you're always quite often out of these days and setbacks. Setback. Difficult to speak about the setback because we also played a really good side today, and just one team can win. But out of such a day of disappointment, sometimes you learn more out of it and take extra motivation in order to make sure that the next time you're not on the wrong end again. You make sure that you are also allowed to celebrate, and this is obviously what my players want to do also in the future.
Just something it took until probably the 94th minute for Southampton's keeper to make a real save. Do you feel like you could have risked a bit more? Is there a frustration in that?
To risk a bit more?
Risk a bit more in the second half.
I had the feeling we risked a lot because we changed our base formation 2 times. We brought all the offensive thinking players inside. So I think to risk more, like whatever, to substitute as a goalkeeper, it's another striker in, was difficult. Obviously some of our key players like Patrick Bamford was also not available, and overall, so if you play a final, it will never be that you just say, okay, we go a bit more for it, and you blow then the opponent out of the park. So obviously it's not easy to create chances when they defend with 10 lads, and they defend also with a knife between the teeth for their life. So I think we created many good situations. Like I mentioned, the situation with Joe, if he passes the ball over to Joe Pirou, you rolls more or less the ball into the empty net. Daniel James, all the other topics. Yes, of course, would have preferred to score a goal, yes, and would have preferred to have even a few more chances, but in such a game you never create 10 clear-cut chances and 1-against-1 situation on the goalkeeper because they are more or less already defending with 10 nets in their own box. It's always more difficult to create chances against such a deep sitting side, and for that, yes, you need to use the small situations in order to score, and this was, I think, the problem today.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Good. Thank you. All the best. Thank you.